A cordial welcome and very good evening to one and all present for the day 4 of the 5 days national level virtual workshop on hands-on SPSS organized by PG Department of Commerce in association with IQAC and Research Cell of St.Teresa's Degree College for Women, Chamrajpet, Bengaluru. I, Navyashri, will be the host for today's session. First and foremost, I would like to welcome our esteemed resource person, Dr. S. Gokulakrishnan sir, who will be emphasizing on the descriptive statistics in today's session. I wholeheartedly welcome you for today's session, sir.
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
I would also extend my heartfelt welcome to all the participants who are eagerly waiting to learn about the descriptive statistics today. Wholeheartedly welcome you all. I request the participants to be active throughout the session. And if you have any queries in between at any point of time, kindly raise your hand and you are allowed to unmute yourself and you can ask your query, or you can even put your queries in the chat box so that I can put forth the same in front of the resource person and your query will get clarified. So with this, without wasting our time, we will start the session. So I hand over to our resource person, Dr. S. Gokulakrishnan sir. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. And good evening to all of you. Welcome back to the workshop on the SPSS. Now we are into the 4th day. Ma'am, just tell me whether my screen is visible to all.
Yes, sir. It is still in the process.
Just a minute. Is it my SPSS data editor is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Quickly, we will recall the functions and the tests which we have conducted and we have experienced it for the last 3 days. And it is a continuation of the last 3 days only. Let me repeat it from the beginning, whatever we have done it. In the first day, we had concentrated about what is research and how to write an academic article and what are the major things we need to consider. Then all the stakeholders' perspectives also we have taught. Then we moved on to the entry of the data when it comes to the SPSS data editor. And after that, we started with the coding, then the transformation of the data, then how to recode the things as per the requirement. Later on, we had a complete experiment about the validation of the data, how to define the rules and validate the data, then identify the duplicate cases and unusual cases. Later part, we had the missing value, reliability analysis, how we can go for it, and missing value handling and analysis also we have done. And exclusively yesterday, we had a complete focus about how to test the normality of the data, how it has been distributed, what are the major things we need to look into it when we are going to think about the testing of the normality. At the second part of the yesterday's session, we had the factor analysis, especially under the dimension reduction option, where there are 4 methods, which I have told you. Just let me repeat it. It goes to the descriptives, these 3 things, it is very important, correlation matrix. And the extraction method only we have spoken, based on the eigenvalue principal component method. Then based on the eigenvalue, the maximum likelihood method. Then based on the eigenvalue, it is alpha factoring method. The another method I have told you, which is not prescribed unless the literature requires some support from the data, that is fixed number of factors. Finally, we have understood how the variables and the statements should be handled when it comes to the factor analysis and factor loading, how to segregate. and so on. Now, whatever we had experimented, the test which we have conducted so far for last 3 sessions, it is all about preparation of the data for the analysis. If a person or an analyst who wants to analyze this data, this is the must aspect which they have to do it. Unless or until these requirements is fulfilled as per the thumb rule, you may not be able to give a justification when it comes to the acceptance or rejection of the hypothesis. And sometimes the entire scenario will get changed. Very simple, if you are not able to prepare the data and format the data as per the requirement, sometimes the entire article itself will going to be missed. We know very well that, especially when it comes to the analytical paper and empirical articles, the analysis part plays a crucial role, and it is an inevitable one also. Whatever I have mentioned it in the research methodology should be proven with the chapter of the data analysis. So hence this preparation is required by default. Okay. Still many people used to skip these things. Maybe they may not be aware about that particular aspects. And then they will do it. But by end of the day, by end of the article, easily the editorial board or reviewer could able to identify whether all the preparation of the data is been done properly or not. By looking at the outcomes itself, they can able to understand. So please be strong in that particular aspects, the data preparation tools. Then we can step into the second level. Now level 2, we are beginning to that. That is called descriptive statistics. Almost everyone knew about it. What is descriptive statistics and what are the major statistical tests are available when it comes to the descriptive statistics, right from the measures of central tendency, and the measures of dispersion, skewness, kurtosis, quartile, percentile, a lot more it is going to be there. Let me explain what is the use of descriptive statistics and why we need to do and why we can't avoid descriptive statistics from our research. Whenever I wanted to proceed with analysis, as I told you, the first requirement, it is to complete the data formatting. And then I will get into the telling a story, a fundamental story or basic reporting about the data which I have collected, or the responses which I have collected. It's a very simple statement. We can say that describing the characteristics of the responses in the data and the pattern of the data. When an analyst or a researcher could be able to understand the pattern and the various characteristics of the data, it is easy for him or her to complete the further tests which is available in the statistics. That is, comes to the inferential statistics. It is something like steps. Okay, so let me open my Jamboard. Probably it is visible to you. Okay, just I'm going to write it. First thing it is, as usual, you know very well, it is about data. And from that, we are going to have the formatting of the data. That is preparation of the data. Let us make it like that. It is preparation of the data. So we have done that. Okay, preparing the data. And the next stage only, it is about DS, descriptive statistics. All three is fundamental thing for any research. It is fundamental. When you do this perfectly, then only we are supposed to go with the inferential statistics. This leads to the either hypothesis testing nor with the analysis of variance. Otherwise, it is going to be relationship and the other non-parametric test and so on. It is going to be there. Okay. So these things fundamentally helps us, a researcher, to understand whether my objective is being able to measure it with the data which I have gathered or collected. Whenever we are going to do this particular aspect, we need to be very clear, and accordingly we have to proceed further. Hope it is clear. If you have any doubts in this, please let me know. Once again, I'm repeating. First, 2 steps completely all about data preparation. As soon as I have done with the data preparation, as a researcher, I wanted to understand the characteristics of the data or the responses which has been recorded, the various patterns of the data also. And I'm able to understand and I can able to present it. That is, basic reporting can be done either in a matrix method, that is table method, otherwise in the visualization method also. So based on that, it is going to be differ. Fundamental things it has been understood, then I can think about or I can test my hypothesis, which is driven from my objectives. Hope it is clear up to this. Any doubts in this before we'll proceed further? Because this is completely an application session. Okay, when you understood the conceptual things, then only the further aspects is going to be easy for you, as well as you can remember forever. Is there any query or any doubts so far? Anything has been recorded in the chat box, ma'am? Else I will
Yes,
proceed
there
further.
are no queries.
Okay, fine. Now I'm going for the descriptive analysis. Okay, descriptive statistics. The steps or algorithm for descriptive statistics starts from here. Click on analyze. Click on analyze. And go to the descriptive statistics. Click on analyze. Go to the descriptive statistics. Here you can find almost 7 different options are available for us. Already yesterday we concentrated about the explore option where the normality has been tested and handled. Okay, now first two you can able to understand frequency and descriptives is there. These are the 2 things predominantly used in any research paper. Okay, so once again I'm repeating, when I want to understand the nature of the data or pattern of the data which I have collected, I will start with the descriptive statistics by understanding the measures of central tendency, then measures of dispersion, skewness, kurtosis, and so on. The option algorithm starts from here. Go to analyze descriptive statistics, then frequencies and descriptives. I will execute one by one. These 3 things I will explain to you later because it does not come under in the purview of the understanding of the data, but it will tell us how the distributions and so on it is going to be there. Let us start with the frequencies. Frequencies, it is nothing but a percent analysis can be performed here. Percent analysis can be performed here. Let me click on this. When I clicked on it, you can able to understand the frequencies that is available. Okay, the list of statements are available to us. The list of the statements which is available. Okay, let's go one by one. Again, let me choose some other variable because we are continuously using that. Let me click OK, that thing, and freedom to decide about the question. I have chosen a variable. It could be multiple also. Okay, let us understand one, then we will do these multiple variables, single variable, then multiple variables we will go. I have chosen a one variable and click on statistics. This is a very important dialog box when it comes to the frequencies. Here you will tell or you will customize what do you want and what are the values you are expecting in the output of frequencies. And I'm repeating the frequencies, the statistics dialog box. It's very important. Here you are going to decide what you want and accordingly what you need to do. But in general, let me tell you, in general, we will go with mean, median, and mode. Mode, if it is required, you can, otherwise you can't. Okay. In general, we can go with mean and sum. In case if you are using a class interval data, by the time you can go for median. By default, you can select standard deviation, variance, range if it is required, you can, and everything based on your requirement only. And skewness and kuriosis is going to be there. Once again, I'm repeating, I'm not touching the percentile values unless if it is required, we need not to do that. Just go to the central tendency in that mean and sum. That too, it is based on your requirement. Sometimes when I'm going to use a demographic profile, there I need not to have in sum. Okay, I will tell you when the sum it is going to be useful. When I'm going for a weighted ranking method, by the time it is going to be useful, so that you can able to understand what is the total values are available and accordingly you can come. And the dispersion, the standard deviation variance by default we need to have. Then only we can able to understand how much variance it took place for each and every observation from the mean of that particular statement. Okay. So all these things I have chosen. Even if you want to values and group midpoints also, you can go for it. But now I won't suggest you. Let us go with this particular thing. Okay, I hope it is clear. Again, I'm repeating what I have done. I'm going for I have executed the variable into the variable cell. Then I clicked on statistics and I have chosen whichever the tool or test which I want to show it, so that I can able to understand the complete pattern and the data. Even sometimes the distribution also it is not required, but however, I will tell you how to understand this so that I have enabled it. Now the second option, step number three, on charts. Here you will decide which type of chart you want to have. Okay, either a bar chart, or pie, or histogram. Okay. Sometimes the bar chart it is going to be suitable or appropriate one. Sometimes pie chart it is going to be. Sometimes when you want to understand about the mid values of the interval which is given, then we need to go with the histogram. And when you click on the histogram, then by default you can choose this show the normality curve on the histogram, so that displays is going to come. So now initially we'll go with the bar chart, then I will explain how the histogram works on. As soon as you enabled the bar chart, you could able to find the chart values has been enabled. Once again, I'm repeating, as soon as I clicked on bar chart, the chart values has been enabled. The chart values will ask you whether you want to go the chart with the frequencies, which is number of observation, nor with the percentages. It's always better to go with percentage. Okay. And sometimes if you want to have frequencies, yes, of course, we can go for it. When it comes to the massive data, by the time the chart is going to be bigger, and accordingly the graph will be created, and it is going to be. When I'm going to interpret the results also, it is normally we used to go with the percent method. So it is better to enable this. I've done this too. Again, I'm repeating, I have chosen a chart type of bar chart. And under that, I have chosen the percentages. Click continue. Now, step number 4, here you are going to decide in which order you want to have, either ascending value, descending value, or ascending counts, descending counts. Compare variables or organize the output by the variables. Okay, so just leave it as such. If you want to have, you can go for it. Otherwise, you need not to. This suppress the tables with many categories. Again, based on your requirement only, you need to do. But initial understanding, you need not to have anything. Just click continue. And there is an option by default, it would have been enabled as soon as you opened this dialog box. Display frequency table. So the matrix it is going to come. Okay. Once again, I'm repeating whatever the steps I have done it. I have visited the analyze menu bar, then descriptive statistics. Then I have chosen frequencies. Then I have taken the variable to the variables list. Then statistics. In the statistics dialog box, I have enabled whichever the option which I felt it is required. Then the charts, under the chart thing, I have chosen which type of chart and how the chart values has to be. In format, I just leave it to the machine's discretion only. So I have done this. Once I have done, click OK. Immediately your output will appear in the output editor of SPSS. Just wait, it is getting loaded. Yes, we got it. So when you get the result, you can see that all the enabled options are available here. One great advantage we have with this statistic table, it is missing values also it is going to be shown. And sometimes you may not be having a time to handle the missing values. But how to identify that and all, if you forget, okay, you can go for this thing and immediately it will tell you how many missing values are there. But in our case, we have done it already, hence the missing values are 0. So mean, standard deviation, variance, skewness, standard error of skewness, radiuses, then standard error, range, minimum, maximum, and sum, and everything it has been given. Now, you may ask me, sir, how to understand this first? I told you yesterday the data validation, day before yesterday, the data validation will happen here. No? So what is the minimum value you have given for a measurement? What is the maximum value you have given for the measurement? Everything by looking into this, you can able to understand. The mean it is 4.09, which means for the 1 to 8, it is an average, not much thing it is there. Okay, so that is how it is going to happen. Next thing it is, you can see that the category wise as well as frequency, it is going to be available. So from here, I can able to understand how many respondents as said strongly disagree. Out of 75 options, that is 13. When it comes to the percent, it is 17.3. Disagree, it is 16%. Somewhat, it is 8, 9, and no opinion, it is 8%, and it goes on. List goes on. Whenever I'm going to write an interpretation or understanding, I will take the cumulative one. Actually, the cumulative one, you can see that up to this, okay, it is 42% of people are not agreeing with the statement. Okay, not agreeing with the statement. So after that, you can see that above 50, it is almost 50% of the people are agreeing with the statement. And we are not going to consider about not applicable, almost it is going to be the same number. This is how the interpretation it is going to happen. So in basic understanding, I can conclude that yes, freedom to decide how to perform tasks having an same weightage between the agreeableness and disagreeableness. So my conclusion or my basic understanding, basic reporting, it is going to be like that. Same thing it is represented in the chart. Okay, here you can customize this chart. That is also possible, and accordingly you can go ahead further on this. This is all about the fundamental method of doing frequencies and understanding this. Okay, in case if you want to do it simultaneously for many variables, yes, of course it is possible. You can immediately enter as many number of variables into your variables list and then execute it, and accordingly you can go for it. Okay. So now what we can do what it is, we will try it with the other methods, that is charts, because that is it is going to be useful sometimes. Now I am going with the pie chart and clicking OK, and immediately the pie chart also it is going to be there. Okay, so whichever the thing which you feel, okay, this is how I need to present. Yes, of course we can present it. Nothing wrong in that. And let me show you the one more method that is about histogram with the normality curve. Okay, you click on this because when I'm going to use histogram without normal curve, it is not advisable. It is always better to show the normal curve on histogram. In general, when it comes to the articles, we won't elaborate too much about the chart and all, because the number of pages which you need to write it itself, it is 10 pages only. So in that, if you spend more space with the chart and those things, it may not be work out. But when it comes to the thesis writing, okay, it is very important. Okay, just click OK, and then we'll see how it works on. So let me go with this. Now I believe you can see that how the data was distributed. You can understand the mean, standard deviation, and everything. Normally, when it comes to the financial data, any financial data, this is the most important chart where we can use it. Okay. I believe I have given a clarity about the frequency test by using the descriptive statistics for a single variable. The multivariable I will be showing now. Is there any doubt from any participants or listeners? If anything is there, please let me know. Accordingly, we'll proceed further.
No doubt, sir. It was very much clear, sir.
Okay. And one important thing, please try to remember, it is all about how you are going to present. Doesn't mean that no, every time I need to present histogram only, or every time I need to go with the pie chart. At the same time, when I'm going to interpret the results, okay, we will go with the collective measures only. Okay, sometimes no, you could have found some articles, every category they will mention this many percent is told strongly disagree, that is. But I would suggest you that you take all disagree together. But however, the degree it is going to be differ. And that degree of differences, we will be measuring it in the hypothesis testing. But when it comes to the descriptive statistics, it is not required that much.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please, ma'am.
One of the participant is asking to explain it once again.
Which one, ma'am? Either by chart or histogram or the entire context?
Girija ma'am, can you kindly unmute yourself and ask which particular concept you want to get a clarity? Pie chart, sir.
Okay. Pie chart, nothing, ma'am. It is based on the categories only, it is going to be there. Okay. It is all about execution. It goes to the frequencies. And in the chart only, you are going to decide. Okay. Just click on the pie chart. Frequencies also you can take, percentages also take, and click continue, immediately it will come. And one important thing which we need to remember when we are going for the pie chart, it is not more than 10 categories, because it would be too conjectured, and it won't give the good appearance. It is always better minimum 3, maximum 10 categories. If you go beyond that or less than that, there is no point of having a pie chart. When it comes to the histogram, okay, very important thing. As I told you, this will measure the distribution of the things. Normal curve also is going to be the bell-shaped curve. And maximum number of time when I'm going to emphasize on a particular variable, this particular histogram with the normal curve is going to be useful. It is always better. We'll go with this elements, and accordingly we can plan for that. Okay, I hope I have given some clarity based on your query. Yes, any other questions, ma'am, before we'll move on to the next method?
No more queries, sir. Okay,
fine. Now, let us go to the multiple variables. Sometimes people will feel, okay, why only one variable has been explained. So let me take multiple variables together, but the way which just comes, the output, it is same. Okay, it is going to be same only. I'm going to choose everything together. And the statistics, as usual, I'm going to define what is what or what is not required and so on. Not by default. Okay, preferably I'm going with the histogram. And format, yes, nothing I'm going to do with this, and click OK. So what happens immediately when you clicked on it, you can see that everything comes, okay, especially the descriptive statistics falls in same table. That is one advantage we have when we are going to go with the multiple statements. Whereas the previous one, it will capture only one variable, but you can see that all the things it is going to be understood. From understanding this itself, I can able to understand how the data was distributed. Mean for the first variable 3.43, but maximum value is 3, which means from here itself I can conclude that majority of the people are disagree with this statement. When it comes to this, yes, it's in dilemma, neither are. Again, 3, 3, and 4, 4.4. Here you can see that these two statements based on the mean value, I can able to tell you that yes, they are agreeing with these two statements. Okay, they are agreeing with this two statements. This is how the complete understanding can be made it with the statistics. It is nothing but descriptive statistics. Is it clear to all of you? Because this is the main thing when we go for the multiple statements together. Even if you take nearly 25 statements together also, it will come. There is no problem with the SPSS output editor. It is easy for the machine and it will come. And I can get into that, what is the what do you call mean value, and here itself I can decide whether this variable it is, or how the responses are, how it is not, and accordingly I can proceed further on this. Okay. And here one more advantage, as I told you, even you can identify some missing values there are not. Individually, you need not to go one by each and every statement. I can't check it out. So by the time I can look into this and finally I can define, yes, this is what, and I will have an overview. Ultimately, this descriptive statistics, it is all about what you call getting in clarity about the data distribution and how it is going to be useful, and what kind of deviations has been happened when it comes to the mean against mean, okay, standard deviation and everything. Okay, it differs to one to another, and accordingly you can go ahead with that particular thumb rules. Thumb rules are very important. Without knowing the thumb rules of each and every interpretation, we are not supposed to go. And next thing it is, you will get to know all the things that is going to be there and arranged in a same sequence which I have chosen. And histogram also in the same thing it is going to be there. It is very easy and it is a time saving one when I'm going for the multiple statements. You need not to do it one every time. You copy entire thing and you can go for it. Okay. Once I have done it, let us say that I want to export the data. Just click on this icon and let me show you, because I have not shown to you even yesterday about the factor analysis and whatever. Here, let me repeat it from beginning, those who have missed it. Go to this green icon, otherwise file option, and go to the export. Okay, there are shortcut method and everything is there. Here it will ask you objects to export, all visible or all are selected. Based on that, even if you want to transfer or export the data to Word directly, it is okay. Even PowerPoint also you can do that. And the first option, you can see that the machine itself, it is recommending Excel only. Always I also insist that go with the Excel, because you can align it properly with the page view, then you can paste it in the Word document, so that there won't be much complication when it comes to the presentation of that matrix and the graphs in the Word document. So here you choose it once you are done. Okay, and you, wherever you have saved the directory, you click on that. I have saved in the desktop. Again, this is the data set I'm using. So here I will give my own name, for example, descriptive, for some variables. By code wise also you can go for it. Just click OK, and immediately the data it is going to be output, it is going to be exported, and it is going to be available here. Okay, now you can see that it has been loaded, and whichever the component or whichever the matrix you are in need, just copy, align it properly, then copy, and then you can put it in the Word document, so that alignment issues would be minimized in a greater extent. Okay, that is ultimate thing which we want to understand. Okay, this is how it comes. All the things would be exported, but whatever I want, I will be taking, and accordingly it is going to be taken. Okay, is it clear? Any doubts in this? Any doubts or any queries from anyone?
No, sir.
Okay. Shall we proceed further?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And another thing it is again how we need to present. Sometimes some of the papers you might have saw that they will present all this frequency and everything, and they will add one more column, mean value and standard deviation. Yes, it is presentation. It is varied, or it is the sole discretion of the author. Okay, accordingly they can go for it. This is a one method. Okay, the entire thing I have done it. Let me save this so that it would be useful. Okay, I have not saved this. Let me save the statistics. It's in Excel, which I have already gave name, hence it is repeating, and click OK, and immediately it has happened. Okay. The next second thing it is when it comes to the descriptive statistics. Here, the frequencies, please do remember, the frequencies will speak about percentage as well as descriptive. The next option, which is available, descriptives, it will take only descriptive statistics. It means only mean, median, mode, range, and percentile, quartile, or whatever we are going to give, only that is going to be available. Okay. So how do I do that? Let's go to analyze, all of you. Go to analyze, click on descriptive statistics, then choose descriptives, and you can list, as I told you, n number of variables based on your requirement. You can choose it. Let me take hardly 5,000, and I have executed that into the variable list. Then options, again by default, when you are going for descriptive statistics options, you can see that what are the defaults are there: mean, standard deviation, minimum, maximum. In case if you are in need of variance, you can enable. Again, as I told you, based on the distribution also you can go for it. Nothing wrong in that. Just I'm going to click continue. It is a very simple experiment. Okay, very simple. When you've done that, save standardized value as variables, not required. If you need, then you can, otherwise leave it. Which means it will create another variable in your data editor. Again, I'm repeating. Go to analyze, descriptive statistics, select descriptives, then descriptives dialog box appear, then go to the variables, options. By default, I have left it, click OK. So we'll see what happens. This is the output, that's it. Nothing else it is going to come. And not even a percent analysis it is going to be there. Only it will tell you about what is the maximum, minimum, what is the mean value, and standard deviation, and accordingly you can decide about it. This is called descriptive statistics method. Called a descriptive statistics method. Is it clear? But normally, when I want to go with more clarity, it is always better. We'll go with the descriptives method. Okay, that is a frequency method, so that complete objective could be achieved, because I can able to understand this, that, and all, so that I can able to have. I hope you got the clarity about the descriptive statistics. Any queries in this, please do let me know. And from this only we are processing further. Any queries from anyone? I wanted to know whether people are doing it actually or not. Can I check it in the chat box? Okay. Tell me how many of them have done this, at least. If you have any queries, please let me know. Unless or until if you are not going to do it, probability of learning will come down. There won't be an effective learning. We know very well that there is a limitation in the online thing. However, if you practice it properly, then everything goes well. Okay. Almost 30 plus participants are there. Just I want to understand how many of them doing. Just type in the chat box. Accordingly, we'll Quickly. Okay, fine. I'm waiting for your responses. One has typed. Just because it is not about doing it from my end. Actually, it's supposed to. I have to understand whether you're understanding it or not. That would be gives a clarity for me to proceed further. Okay, fine. I think probably I assume that everyone has understood. Okay. Now we will move on to the next test. Okay. And before getting into the next test, we need to set a few things. Initially, we have prepared the data. Then now we understood the data. Now we are moving into the choosing of the tests, statistical test, appropriate test based on your objective. Based on the objective. Come back to the Excel because that is going to be useful for us. That only I'm going to choose it. If you open your Excel spreadsheet for a while, okay, we can see that on the first day itself, we have, not second day itself, we have created this variables. Am I correct? Some other variables also it is there that I will choose and I will paste it. Let me go for this particular thing and I will copy it here in a transpose method so that it is going to be available in a here. Okay. So these are the variables we have. Okay, all 8, 7 is there. So quickly, what I will do what it is, I will copy and paste it because it is going to be easy for us to understand how to frame the objective and how to analyze it and which test must be appropriate test and so on. So I believe everyone is doing simultaneously. Okay, I have done it. Then work anomaly conflict. Okay. Then the third one it is organizational commitment. Okay. Then fourth one I think work exhaustion and perceived workload. Work exhaustion. Then perceived workload. Okay, then what next? Actually, it is going to be fairness of rewards, turnover intention. Fairness of rewards and turnover intention. Fairness of rewards and turnover intentions. So let us make it like this. I remove this. It is not required now. Okay, we have this variables here. Okay, I will be doing it, and I will tell you what are the things that is going to be there. Apart from that, let us check it out. What are the things is there? I will choose a few, which is going to be useful for us when it comes for the decision of data. Just give me a minute where it is went. Okay, it's there. Tested it. Now, all of you try to understand what are the things we are going to have it. Okay. I will fix my objectives initially. Accordingly, I will tell you. Okay, for this paper. Okay, for this paper, I wanted to understand that. Okay, my research question here it is: what is the work-life balance of the BPO employees? Okay, let me type it. Such question. Wanted to understand what is the work-life balance of BPO employees. This is my question. Employees. Okay, this is my question. Now, how do I convert this into an objective? Objectives, you know very well, there would be in primary and secondary. Typically, we won't mention it in the articles, but however, it is always better to define primary, then go with the secondary. Primary objective here it is to measure, analyze or measure. Okay, let us make it analyze the work-life balance among the BPO employees. This is a primary objective for our variable which is being given. Ultimately, you know very well, this is known as dependent variable. It's going to be known as a dependent variable. Now, next thing it is to achieve this primary variable, primary objective, I need some secondary objectives also so that it is going to be useful. What I will do with it is, I will analyze or examine, okay, or study the factors affecting work-life balance. Factors affecting work-life balance among the employees. First thing it is, I wanted to understand whether what are the factors it is going to be affect my work-life balance and so on. I'm taking it to one set of question, the research question. Accordingly, I'm framing it. It may differ from one to another. Okay, it may differ from one to another. Even we can have one more research question, and accordingly we can frame for that. Okay, and by default, when I'm going to examine the factors affecting the work-life balance, what I will do with it is I will investigate or I will study the relationship between factors of work-life balance and work-life level of work-life balance, for example, level of work-life balance. Level of work-life balance. Even further, if I wanted to understand, if I wanted to understand how the work-life balance differs across the demographic profiles, yes, I can do it. Let me make it to study the perception on work-life balance of BPO employees across demographic profiles. Let us say here I'm going to take age, marital status, and I'm going to include number of children also. Okay, for our understanding. So these many objectives I have set only to measure a single research question. Is there any query in this? Because this fundamental understanding we need to have, and accordingly we have to go ahead. Okay. In this case, this becomes demographic variables. This is from here, it becomes independent variables. Okay. This is going to be independent variable. I'm just keeping it. I'm understanding. Okay. And here it is demographic variables. Tell me, have you understood this? Because from this only I'm going to tell you which test we are going to perform and how it is going to be happen. What are the major things we need to go ahead further. Okay. Any queries in this before we'll proceed?
No doubt, sir.
Okay, now, second thing, what I'm going to do what it is, I will parallelly take one more research question, okay, so that you can understand how this data can be used in a different manner. Research question here it is, okay. I wanted to understand the relationship, okay, relationship. Let me type it. What is the relationship between work-life balance, and turnover intention, because it is an outcome, intention among the BPO employees. So this is my question. The primary objective, as usual, we know very well, we will study to analyze the relationship between, even further also we can write it, between work-life balance, correct spelling only, work-life balance and turnover intention. Okay, turnover intention. Let me rewrite this question, because again, relationship, it is not going to be useful. What is the impact? Okay, let us make it. What is the impact of work-life balance on turnover intention? So it is going to be more precise than the previous thing, because the research question, it is all about a very important thing which we need to decide it. Okay, no, not to copy. Now the next thing it is, let me come out with the secondary. As usual, what I will do it is, I will take all these. Okay. One more thing I will include. Okay, 5 factors. According to that, what I will do it is, I will add the things to work-life balance. Again, I'm going to examine the factors, then the relationship between the work-life balance, okay, and what I'm going to do it is, between work-life balance, okay, work-life balance, just a minute, work-life balance and turnover intention. Turnover. So this is how we are going to set. Now everything is set. Let us assume. Now, how do I create a model first? First thing it is, how do I create a model? For that, I'm going to use the drawing, that it is going to be easy for everyone to understand. Because normally, no, when we are going to create a questionnaire itself, by the time only we need to do all these things. Now, later part, if you do it, there would be a lot of problems. It is always better. We need to keep in mind that we are supposed to decide everything when it comes to the questionnaire creation itself. Okay, designing the questionnaire by the time itself you need. Okay. Now let me make one model here. For example, what I'm going to do with it is, you know very well, the first one. Just a minute. Choose properly. I can. Just a minute. It is not loading. It's wrong. Take this color and it is going to be that. Sometimes this touch will not work. However, let me try now. Same. Just a minute. It's not taking it. I will go to the jump board. It is easy. Let us say that we have factors JA, the first variable, Second variable, it is work family conflict. Okay. This is one, this is one, and so on. It is going to be that. Let us assume that all independent variables has been kept. Now, what I want to understand it is, I wanted to have an understanding of which variable is contributing towards work-life balance. Okay, work-life balance. It is a simple method of creating a model. Okay, from this itself, I can able to understand what I need to do. This is my primary objective. This is going to be my, what do you call, the secondary objectives. Okay, what I will do with it is I will study the correlation between this, and you know the diagram, it is going to be bigger, and so on. Primary element, it is going to happen like that. Let me show you in a clear manner. That would be easy for you. Let me put it here. Just a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. For an understanding, I'm making it one variable here. I'm going to keep all the things here comes here. So this is WLB, let us assume, then rest of the things is there. How this is as an interaction, and how this is as an interaction, how this is. And similarly, this is goes here, this is goes here, and this is. So all sorts of the interactions and everything can be decided with the framework of the model. This is what normally we used to do it. When it comes to the second objective, it goes a small change. Let us understand this is factors. Here you come WLB. From the WLB, turnover and tension is there, TA. Okay. Now here it has becomes moderating variable, and these things it is going to be factors. This is going to be WLB. Okay. So the direct effect again, it is going to be measured with this particular thing. Okay. And again, that interaction levels and everything, it is going to be there. So the model is set, and finally we can go for the further analysis. Is it clear to all of you? Because this is fundamental. Based on this one only, we are going to proceed further, which test has to be done, how we have to go ahead, and what are the major things we need to consider, what are the major assumptions are there, and accordingly. Is that clear? Any queries on this?
It is clear, sir.
Okay. Any questions or anything from wanted to ask from any respondents? You feel free to ask. Now I'm going for the test which I'm going to perform. Okay. Normally, as I told you, there is any article if you take it, initially they will go with percentage or percent analysis. Just commonly explaining about the demographic profiles, because that is very important. Demographic profiles of respondent or employees. Second thing it is, I will describe the variables. Variables, it is nothing but each and every statement which has been measured. Okay. So that is what we are going to use it, descriptive. But I will tell you how we need to present, and then we will decide which test has to be done it. Okay. So when it comes to this, you can see that to analyze the work-life balance among the employees, we can go with the descriptive statistics, because it will tell you whether the agreeableness is available or not among the employees or not. Second thing it is to examine the factors affecting the work-life balance. Again, I'm re-examining that factors. I wanted to understand what kind of what do you call responses are available with this particular thing. So I'm making it. That's a small spelling error, typo error. Next thing it is here, I wanted to study the relationship. By default, we will be going with which one? Correlation. And in case if it is required, regression. Okay. Normally we know the correlation, what is the difference. And to study the perception across, it is ANOVA. Okay. So this is the first thing. Second thing it is here, I wanted to study the relationship. By default, we will be going with which one? Correlation. And in case if it is required, regression. Okay. Normally we know the correlation, what is the difference. And to study the perception across, it is ANOVA. By default, for this research question, I'm going to use percentage analysis, ANOVA, and correlation. Okay. So these three things it is going to be there. When it comes to this, let us say that this question, the relationship, again, it is correlation and regression is going to be there based on the requirement of the objective. Next one, it is about to analyze the thing is again descriptive statistics. Examine the work-life balance, again descriptive statistics. Relationship, the same thing, it is going to be there, correlation. And here, perception, it is going to be there, no, it is ANOVA. And one important thing I have told you, impact, it can be done at this SIM. SIM, again, advanced one, but we can go with the multiple regression. That is multiple linear regression. This is how the test has been chosen. Whenever I'm going to have a data, whenever I'm going to have a questionnaire, from the beginning itself, we need to decide everything, and finally we need to go ahead. Very simple project actually, and the data also very easy, and it has been already formatted properly. That is why it's coming like this. Okay. Any queries or any doubts in this? Quickly. Shall I proceed further?
Yes, sir. Please proceed.
I think there's some message in chat box. Yeah, if I'm here. It's something we typed it. When do we choose an ANOVA? Yes, I'm coming to that, ma'am. Susmita, if I'm correct. I'm doing that. I will tell you the assumptions and how it is going to happen now. One by one, I will explain. If it is possible, please make a note of it in your notepad or maybe. Now, we close this because we are not going to use this this output thing. Now, first thing, go to analyze. Okay. Normally, ANOVA, as I told you, okay, there are 4 categories is there. No, let me show you that, which I have already explained in the previous thing. The testing of hypothesis is going to be there. Non-parametric test, analysis of variance ANOVA, testing of relationship correlation, forecasting, goodness of fitness test, chi-square, and so on. It is going to be there. Now, how do I do that? That is a question. And when I need to do? Okay. Very simple. Go to analyze. Please make a note of it. This is analysis of variance. The test which we are going to perform, it is all about analysis of variance. Okay. Go to compare means. Go to compare means. You can find it. Okay. Means are available. One sample t-test is there. Independent sample t-test is there. Paired sample t-test is there. And one-way ANOVA is there. One-way ANOVA is there. Let me explain to you how it is going to happen and what are the major things we need to consider. First and foremost thing for one-way ANOVA or one-way ANOVA, any one-way, two-way ANOVA and all. This is the condition. Please make a note of it. I will write it here. I will write it here only. And I'm going to choose ANOVA. One variable is mandatory. There is no doubt about it. Okay. One variable is mandatory. Variable must be in continuous scale. Must be in continuous scale, that is interval or ratio scale. And one more variable I need, categorical scale. Is it clear? This is the first assumption of ANOVA. Okay. Continuous scale you must be knowing, that is NOIR. Out of NOIR, it would have been measured interval or ratio scale. And the categorical scale, it could be measured in nominal. That's very important. Ordinal, we can't use it when it comes to the ANOVA. First assumption of ANOVA, it is about one variable must be in continuous scale. Continuous scale. Let me make it continuous scale. Then the another variable must be in categorical scale. Is that clear to all of you? Because this is very important. Is this clear to all of you? Please respond me quickly in the chat box. Then only I can proceed further.
Yes, sir. Got a response.
Okay. Now, here in our question, to study the perception on work-life balance of BPO employees across age, marital status, and number of children. When it comes to the work-life balance, it is a continuous scale. Continuous scale means it is, what is that? Interval data or ratio scale that we have measured in the Likert type scale. Okay. So categorical variables which we used, it is age, marital status, that is nominal data I'm speaking, marital status, the number of children. Okay. Number of children. Now, I hope you got the clarity. You can look at this variables and my objective. Both are matching. Exactly matching. Is it clear? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Life balance differs across actually. And I left it. Exactly matching. This is how I need to define. Basic assumption, please make sure that the basic assumptions of any tool or test should met out. ANOVA, it is requires one continuous scale or variable and minimum one categorical scale, which means you can go with n number of categorical scale. Nothing wrong in that. When it comes to the SPSS, the categorical scale has been mentioned as a factor. When it comes to the SPSS dialog box, we will get not as a categorical scale, we will have an option called factor. Okay, let me do this. We will use this particular thing and then we can go ahead further. Now, go to analyze. Descriptive statistics. Sorry, compare means. Go to analyze, compare means, and click on Way Anova. Okay. So it is not about dependent or independent variable here, but the variable must be in continuous scale. Variable must be in continuous scale. What is my continuous variable here? I have chosen the work-life balance. Am I correct? So I'm going to choose that perfect work-life balance as an one variable. Even many variables also you can take it. Nothing wrong in that. Many variables also you can take it. The condition when it comes to the one-way ANOVA, please observe one variable and one categorical variable, one continuous variable only we can use it. Is it clear to all of you? Please make a note of it. Let me repeat it or write it down here. When it goes to the one-way ANOVA, one-way ANOVA, okay, condition it is one continuous variable, one categorical variable, categorical variable. Okay, this is a condition. If it goes beyond, okay, minimum one, but more than one also it can be. Let us make it more than one. But here only one categorical variable it is going to be there, and accordingly only we need to proceed further. Okay. That is one-way ANOVA. Let us understand how the one-way ANOVA has been executed. Once again, I am repeating. Go back to analyze. Go to compare means. Click on one-way ANOVA. I've chosen any one variable. As per my research objective, I need to choose which one? Work-life balance. Click OK. Now I'm going to choose marital status nor age group. But one condition again, please try to remember. Okay, categorical scale, categorical variable should have minimum 3 homogeneity subset groups. Minimum 3 homogeneity subset groups. You're getting my point? Any doubts on this? Once again, I'm mentioning it. The categorical variable, what is the condition? Minimum the homogeneity subsets. Okay. In case if I'm going to use age, age would have been measured with 3 different parameters, which means less than 20, 20 to 40, and above 40, something like that. It should not be less than 20 and more than 20. If that is the case, the analysis of variance may not be possible when it comes to the SPSS or any software if you take it. Is that clear to all? Is that clear? Now, go to the next step, contrasts. Here, if you want to have a polynomial things, you can go ahead. But initially, it is not required. Okay, one-way contrast and all. Go with the post hoc test. This is very important. Please make a note of it. Post hoc test meant for multiple comparisons. Equal variances assumed table and equal variances not assumed table. Equal variances assumed table, equal variances not assumed table. The most important authors here it is Turkish B, who's known for ANOVA actually, who brought a lot of interventions and a lot of development when it comes to the ANOVA. So we normally go with the equal variances assumed table, that is by Turkish B. Unequal variances, sorry, equal variances not assumed, we will go with Dunnett's T3 method. Dunnett's T3 method. This is very important. And when it comes to the significance level, you can decide what is your significance level, which you want to have it 95% or 97% or 99%. Accordingly, you can go ahead. By default, you will get 0.05. That is 95% confidence level. That is 95% confidence level. Is it clear with this? Is this clear? Okay. Once again, I'm repeating, equal variances assumed. You can choose any comparison. It doesn't mean that you need to go with this, but typically, maximum number of researchers and people will widely use this Turkish B method of ANOVA and the post hoc test especially. Then the equal variance is not assumed, Dunnett's T3. Okay, just click OK. And then go to the options. This is the second important option when it comes to the ANOVA. Here, whatever you want to have, you can enable it. Descriptive table, it is of course we need. As I told you, homogeneity of variance test, the subsets of the categorical variable should be kept as a essence. That is a main thing, and accordingly they can go ahead further. And then means plot, it will show you how the distribution and the variation is happening when it comes to the compare means. Again, I'm repeating, one-way ANOVA, when it goes to this descriptives, and then homogeneity of variance test. Even if you want to have a fixed and random effects, you can, but initially it is not required. Means plot, click continue, and everything gets over now. And I'm repeating, go to analyze and select compare means, choose one-way ANOVA. The condition here it is one-way ANOVA, minimum one continuous variable, and only one categorical variable which has minimum of 3 subsets. Okay. And then I have chosen the post hoc test, equal variances assumed 1, then equal variances not assumed 1. I have chosen only 1 in this. Okay. Even if you want to have Dunnett's also, you can go for it, control category and so on. Okay. And the Dunnett's equal variances not assumed also. I have defined the significance level. Click OK. And options, you go to descriptives, homogeneity of variance test, means plot I have enabled. And click OK. Now your ANOVA results appear. Just wait, it is getting loaded. Now you can see that I told you post hoc tests are not performed perfect work-life balance because at least one group has fewer than 2 cases. Okay. At least one group should have fewer than 2 cases. That groups has to be there. Hence the post hoc test is not there. Okay. Hence the post hoc test is not available. However, let us leave that. part. Then we will take one more example and then we will go for it. Okay. We will take another variable and then we can go for it. Now, as soon as you started, as soon as you have got the result, go to the ANOVA table. Descriptives, as usual, you will get lower bound of the confidence interval, upper bound of the confidence interval, standard deviation and mean and so on. It is going to be there. Let it be there. And test of homogeneity, Lewin's statistic value is going to be there. It will confirm that whether computing of testing of homogeneity of variances for perfect work life, it is fitting with that particular thing or not. The test of homogeneity says it is correct. The first thing which we need to look into it in the ANOVA table, it is ANOVA tested as ANOVA table. Okay. ANOVA table. Now, look at this carefully. The first one which we are doing it itself, it is the thing which is happening. Okay. Now, before explaining this, I will tell you what would be the hypothesis for this. What would be the hypothesis for this? Okay. Here, my H naught, let me type it. H naught is H0, I'm sorry, H0 is work-life balance is not significantly differs across age. Now we have used only age, hence I'm taking it. H1 we know very well. WLB is significantly varies across age. Okay, this is a thing. And you must be knowing what is all about the condition. Okay, you must be knew about it. Whenever we get the value less than 0.05, accept, reject H naught, and accept these things you must be knowing, except H1. And whenever it is equal, actually, whenever we are having a significant value more than 0.5, then we need to accept H naught and reject H1. I think this is clear to all of you. These things we need to have a clarity. Now I'm going to define that. Any doubts on this? Any doubts on this before we'll proceed? Now, any
No,
doubts has been posted in the chat box?
no, sir. So
No.
second one is equal to and greater than 0.05. Is it, sir?
No, first one it is less than or equal to actually. Okay. Less than or equal to. We can't type it in Excel, hence I have kept it. Now it has been clear. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Less than or equal to 0.05. When it comes to the second one, this is the parameter actually. It is applicable for all tests. Okay, where we will decide whether we are accepting or rejecting the hypothesis or not. Okay. Now, I told you we will be going with the ANOVA table initially, and between the group, within the group, and everything is going to be there. First value I will look into it is this significant value. Now, from this itself, I can tell you that we are accepting the alternative, accepting the null hypothesis and rejecting the alternative hypothesis, which means work-life balance is not significantly differs across age. Work-life balance, it is not significantly differs across age. Okay. So we are accepting the, which one? Second one. Accept H0 and reject the H1 in this parameter. Is it clear to all of you? Is this clear? Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, The means plot also you can look into it, how it is goes on. It is goes to this, and here when it comes to the 26 to 30, 4.5. When it comes to the 31 to 35, it comes here and comes down and so on. So there is no significantly differs. So from this ANOVA table itself, we'll decide whether to describe or extend our interpretation or not. Now, what I'm going to do with it is, I will choose some other variable so that we will try to get the acceptance one. Okay, instead of perfect work-life balance, let me choose some other. Okay, I'm choosing this. Again, the same thing, I have kept it, and click OK. We'll see what is happening. Okay, post hoc test is not performed. No chances next year, as at least one group has fewer than 2 cases. Some problem with the data. Okay, not a problem. Now go to this. Again, we get the same result when it comes to this. It says that it is not significantly different. What I will do with it is, because we need to have some values which is going to be useful. Now let me use some other variable, see what has happened. Our table says this, and simultaneously it is going to be, let me have some other variable. I think it is troubling us. Just a minute. Table. Yes, now you can see that the results has been appear significant. Are you able to see? You can able to get this thing. It has been significant, which means the variable which I have chosen. Let me go to the this particular thing. Variable which I have chosen, which gives the accepting the alternative hypothesis. It's accepting the alternative hypothesis. Now, once the acceptance has been done, we need to look into the F static value. Please make a note of it. F static value. Tabulated value and calculated value, it is going to be there whenever we are going for an F test. Okay, F test, T test, or Z test. Condition is there, thumb rule. Okay, even though it says it is significant, the another one which we need to look into it is F static value. Another one which we need to look into it is F static value. So when I'm going to do that, one it is P value. I'm going to decide based on the P value. P value. Second element which I'm going to test it is F static value. Bolded. When first one is get clear, then only we will go with the second one. Please do remember F static value. Condition here it is this. If 0.05 level, significant level, okay, the value should be greater than 2.46. It is a table value. When you look at the log, okay, logbook, you will get to know. When it comes to 0.01, because I have memorized it, hence it is coming 2.56 and above. It is again table value. Okay. In our case, you can see that it is in 0.05 level, and what we are getting 4.546, which means yes, it has been validated. Static value will tell us how the ANOVA it is validated or not. Is it clear to all? Any doubts in this? This is step number 2 when it comes to the interpretation.
So could you please repeat F value interpretation?
Yes, please look at that. It is visible to all of you. The table value, okay, in a logarithm book we are using no F test value, F test values. Okay, the table value for 0.05 level it is 2.46. Okay, when it is above or equal to 2.46, then we will validate that ANOVA. Even though the p value says is accepting the alternative hypothesis, the second criteria which we will keep it is this criteria. When it comes to the 0.05, we are having now in this case it is 4.546. Am I correct? Okay, which is greater than 2.46. Okay, Please do remember, this is first value, it is calculated value. This is stable value. That principle must be aware to everyone, and hence I'm confirming that there is a significant difference when it comes to the continuous and categorical variable, whichever I have used it. Is it clear? Is this clear? Any doubts in this?
It's clear now, sir. Thank you, sir.
So far, whatever we have discussed, if you have any queries, please let me know before we'll proceed with the another methods. In test of homogeneity also, you can see that it is comes here. It will tell you only about degrees of freedom and significant level, but normally we will go with the ANOVA table. Okay, we won't much concentrate about this, but the post hoc test I wanted to show you. Not sure this data is supports or not, but the post hoc test will tell you about each and every group, how it is getting varied. Okay, and moreover, the interpretation will go like this only. Now, what I will do it is I will show you one of my paper so that the interpretation, how we need to write it in a shorter version when you are going for the any uh, paper. Okay, any paper. Just give me a minute. I will show you. Papers where it is. And take this one, so that you can also have a look how the presentation of the tests and the tables has to be done it when it comes to the paper article especially. Okay, this is comes under a high index actually. Okay, now let me show you. This is how we present, and this is descriptives ANOVA. I hope you can see this. The H1 I have told you age diversity and the employee performance differs across age, gender, educational qualification, and position, and so on. My interpretation, it is going to be like this. This is how it's a combined ANOVA table. We won't present it separately. It's a combined one, and we will be able to understand whether it is significant or not by comparing itself. And the interpretation will start like this. For example, perception on age diversity significantly varies across gender. I have mentioned the F static value. This is what, and the P value this is, and you can conclude it at significant level. Okay. If you want to go through it, you can this paper. It is available in the Google Scholar. You can get it, download, and make use of it. Okay. So once you are done, this is the combined one. It is normally we used to present in a combined matrix only. Every time we can't increase the pages because this article itself, it is 11 pages. Out of that, 2 pages is going to be reference, and first page it is all about introduction and abstract. Everything we need to fit in this particular column only. Otherwise, it is going to be very difficult. Just have a look how to present and how the things it is going to happen, and accordingly you can plan for that. It is one-way ANOVA, completely a one-way ANOVA. What I have done it is I have taken independent and dependent variable together, and I have analyzed how the things it is going to happen and so on. Is this clear? If you have any queries, please let me know. Let me show you the what is that interpretation also for a while. Then you can have a clarity about it. Any doubts or any queries in this? Is this clear? Let me look into the chat box. I think I have given a clarification about the F static value. Is it clear, or still you need any more clarification on this? KAL, it is a calculated value, and tab, it is a table value. Accordingly, only we will decide everything and it goes on.
It is clear, sir. You can proceed.
Okay. This is all about one-way ANOVA. Okay. Because why we are using everything together and we need to understand means completely these assumptions are very important. Simply you can't use ANOVA for the sake of using it, and you need to decide what you want to do, and accordingly only you need to go ahead further. And there is a minimum requirements is there, and then you have to go for it. Let me repeat it how I have done the ANOVA once again, and then we will move on to the next one. That is, go to compare means one-way ANOVA. Here itself you can able to understand in n number of minimum one or n number of dependent list you can create. Factor must be only one because it is a one-way ANOVA. And post hoc test, equal variance is assumed. I have chosen the author called Turkish B model. And unequal, that is equal variance is not assumed. I have chosen Dunnett's method. And significant level, by default, it would be 0.05. In case if you want to change it, you can change it. Go to the options. Here, the another important thing which we need to choose it. As usual, descriptive table it is required even when we are going to present it. The paper also sometimes it may require when you want to increase your write-up on the interpretation. And homogeneity of the variance test, it is essential. Then only that the subsets would be analyzed properly, and the means plot, that is going to be useful. And once you are done, just click OK, and finally you will get the output, and you start what do you call interpreting it. There are two things only we are going to consider as of now in the primary understanding. We will think about what is the significant level. Is that well before or well low or less than or equal to 0.05? If it is less than 0.05, we will reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternative hypothesis. And the next thing, how do I confirm with the F static value, that is F test value? It must be greater than 2.56 or equal to 2.56 in case the significant level it is 0.05. In terms of 2.46 when it comes to the 0.01 significant level, which I have typed it in the Excel. This is all about the ANOVA. That is one-way ANOVA. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please, ma'am.
There is a question from Sushmita Saha.
Yes.
Sir, in the dependent variable list, only one variable should be there?
No, many. Minimum one. Even we can go with many also. However, I will do it. For example, because for normally, no, when we want to understand certain things, it is always better to go with one. Okay, I have chosen 4. Even many variables you can go ahead, as many variables if you want to. But the table gets expanded. That's it. Nothing else is going to happen. You can see that is happening here. And ANOVA table, it's a combined ANOVA table has come. That is what I have presented in my paper also. So simultaneously, the same values that is going to be there and combined matrix is displayed here between group, within group, and so on. Okay. Out of this, I can tell you that only 2 is significantly differs. Another 2 is not significantly differs because this is less than 0.05. This is almost close to 0.05. Sometimes no, we need to take this value also. We can't neglect it. It is not like a sharp what do you call value. We need to take it accurate. Another thing, when you look into it, the another criteria also it is matching it up. So in this sense, what I'm doing it is I'm taking an advantage of this, and I will highlight. Hence, I'm accepting the alternative hypothesis. In case this is the value, it is 0.06, but here I'm getting before less than 2.46 means, then by default I will reject the alternative hypothesis and accept the null hypothesis. So that is how it is going to be there. Sometimes only it will happen, not frequently. Very occasionally these things will happen. Okay. Is it clear to all? Any queries on this before we'll go with the another method?
It's clear, sir.
Any doubts? Any queries? We'll go to the next one. Okay. Now we are moving into the two-way ANOVA. Okay, we are moving into the two-way ANOVA. Please, all of you, make a note of it. Here, the conditions are this. Okay, in one-way ANOVA, we had two-way ANOVA. One-way ANOVA, we had only one categorical scale, okay, categorical variable. But here we can go with the two categorical things simultaneously. That is the only difference. The rest of the things, it is remain same. However, we will check it how to do that, and we will go for it. More than it is going to be there, more than this is. The steps are, please make a note of it. Go to analyze. We won't go with compare means normally. Okay, this means it is again here also there is an one option. Okay, you will decide what you want to have, and then you can go for it. So let us have one method first, then we will go to the second method. Okay, let me explain. By using the compare means, how do I perform two-way ANOVA? Okay, make a note of it. Go to compare means. Here you can see that a list has been given. Let me choose a dependent list. Independent list, as I told you, you can go with two or more. And you are going to perform so that the condition, the assumptions has to be met. Otherwise, simply we can't do anything. Rest of the things I'm not going to choose. Only ANOVA table I'm going to have. Rest of things is there, and click OK. Immediately, you will be able to get. This is how it will be available. Okay, ANOVA table. Can you able to see that? Its own scheduling with the marital status, whether it is significant or not. Again, no number of children. Again, it is going to come like this. Compiling the two-way ANOVA, it is very difficult when it comes to the mean option. Normally, no, we won't prescribe that we need to do an two-way ANOVA with the means option. Okay? This is one option. I repeat it once again. The rest, explanation, everything is similar. There is no change at all. Only thing it is, instead of one categorical variable, we are using two or more than two. Okay? Is it clear? Shall we proceed further? I believe we will move further on this. Here, univariate and bivariate is there. Just try to explore what is there in that. Okay. Here you can see that.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
A participant is asking to repeat it once again, sir.
That mean method. Okay. Let me repeat it. Go to the analyze. Go to compare means. This is not advisable because a lot of confusions would be there for learners, beginners. Okay. Go to means. And you choose your own dependent list and you choose independent list. Make sure that when you are performing in two-way ANOVA, minimum two has to be there. That is a categorical scale. And then only one option I'm going to enable. Without this also will come, but ANOVA table will not be there. So hence you need to ensure the ANOVA table and click continue and click OK. Immediately it will come. Okay. This is not an advisable method, but however, I wanted you to get exposed to this. So hence I have repeated. Rest you can see that the explanation, the interpretation goes completely with the same as one-way ANOVA. Is it clear, ma'am? The participant who asked the query.
Yes, sir.
Now we'll go with general linear model. Two-way ANOVA. Okay. Two-way ANOVA will go with univariate analysis. Please make a note of it. Multivariate goes for MANOVA. Okay. Let me repeat it. Two-way ANOVA. Typically, we will go with this general linear model. Go to univariate. Click on this. Here, you will have more aspects. Okay. Now listen. I'm going to choose one dependent variable. Fixed factors could be in 2, 3. There's going to be that. Let me choose any two, for example, 1. Okay, then income per month I've chosen. This random efforts and all, if you want to have it, you can have it, otherwise leave it out. Again, please do remember when it comes to the two-way ANOVA, only two categorical scales or variables must be used, not more than that. These things and all based on covariation, random factors. If you want to give weighted least scores, weightage, you can give it, but it is not recommended initially when it comes to this. Click on model. Okay. Click on model will have some interaction. When you want to full factorial things, you can just leave it as such. Now, our thing it is about the contrast. Again, last time also we left it to the machine's discretion only. Here, the profile plots is going to be there, how it is. Now, our aim here it is, this is what the aim. So, which factor you want to have a post hoc test? Okay. As I told you, equal variance is assumed table, and equal variance is not assumed table also it is going to be there. Here we will be going with the equal variances assumed table. Just click continue and save. If you want to unstandardize the predicted value, residuals and so on, it is possible. And go to the options. Here you can observe that there are few things is there: homogeneity, descriptive, and the residuals and all. It is based on your requirement only we will be going ahead. Okay. So descriptives and homogeneity test. As usual, whatever we have done it in the one-way ANOVA, the same options I am going to take it. Significance level it is 0.05. I will repeat it. Okay. Once again, I am repeating it. Please make a note of it. Go to analyze, general linear model, univariate. Select any dependent variable here. And the fixed factors, you can be in categorical scale, minimum 2, which means two-way ANOVA. Click on this. Go to the model contrast plots, we won't use it when it comes to the ANOVA. To choose the factors which you want to have post hoc test, and turquoise B you can choose it. Click OK. For equal variances assumed, then save. Here nothing we are going to do it when you want to do the unstandardized residuals and predicted values. The next thing it is we are going to have this particular univariate dialog box where we will be having descriptive statistics and homogeneity test, which is a very important one, and it goes for the ANOVA. Okay, so click OK. Interpretation and all it remains same only. Is it clear? The steps is clear. Because too many options we need to use it. Just type it in the chat box or unmute yourself and tell me. Is the steps are clear?
Yes, sir.
Shall we proceed further? And after that, you can click. When you click OK.
I'm so sorry, sir. One of the participants is telling you're too quick. Would you please repeat it once again, sir?
Okay, fine. Go to analyze. Okay. Go to compare means. That is for one-way ANOVA. Now, two-way ANOVA means GLM. Please make a note of it. GLM. The GLM, two-way, we will go with univariate. Multivariate means ANOVA. Okay. The explanation and all, it is almost similar. We need not to worry about it. Okay. I think after this, it is clear. Two-way ANOVA, general linear model. Go to univariate. Click on that. Immediately, the dialog box opens. You choose any dependent variable. Fixed factors minimum 2, because we are dealing with the two-way ANOVA. Here we are not going to define any customized models. If you want to customize, you can, but I won't recommend that. Just leave it to the machine. Go to the post hoc test, which is very important when it comes to the analysis of variance. Analysis of variance. It would be typically like this initially. Nothing will be enabled. And I'm going to take the factors to the post hoc option column, then rest of the things it is going to be enabled. Let me choose this. I told you in the Way Anova, I have chosen the equal variance is assumed, that is Turkish B model. Okay, continue. Then go to save option. Here I'm doing nothing because I'm leaving it as such. If you want to have, you can go to the options. This is another important dialog box, which is important for Way Anova. Okay, even if you want to have a display for means also, you can enable, nothing wrong in that. Okay, and compare the mean effects, main effects, and everything. It is going to be there. A lot of things is there. You can go in deeper and deeper, but fundamentally speaking, we won't use much about that. So that is why I'm skipping it out. When you become master in this, then we can use it. Otherwise, don't touch that particular things. Go to the display. Descriptive statistics I have enabled. Since I need homogeneity test, ultimately ANOVA focuses on homogeneity subsets. So I am enabling that. And as usual, significance level, it is 0.05. And I have done that. Click continue and click OK. Okay. When you click OK, then the analysis it is going to appear here. This is going to be appear here. Is it clear to all? Is this clear to all? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you can observe that the corrected model, how it is. Intercept we won't consider, but when we consider with these two things only, especially X6BA, whether it has been accepted or not, that is hypothesis, differs or not, X7 it is differs or not. But when it comes to the X7A, it is differs. You can identify it here. The model, it is all about the interactive model. So we need not worry about it. My thing it is all about these two values only. So here the first variable, it is not, okay, it is not significantly differs across that variable. When it comes to the second one, it is significantly differs across. Is this clear? Any doubts in this? Let me show you one more also, because we need to go with another multivariate also. The same thing it comes here. You can see that when I want to have measure only one dependent variable, I will go with that univariate. When I'm going for the multivariate, here n number of continuous variables and n number of categorical variable, I can use it. The rest of the things it is going to be same. So let me choose roughly. Okay, and even two-way, three-way, not three-way, multivariate, everything can be chosen here. It will accommodate everything. And as usual, the model, as I told you, you can customize, otherwise you can leave it. Now we are going for the post hoc, and based on your requirement, you can enable post hoc test. This multivariate analysis of variance, save, but we are not touching it. Options, as usual, descriptive statistics, test of homogeneity. In case if you want to have an observed power and other things, you can go ahead. Click continue, and then you will get complete ANOVA. Okay, this is descriptives, Fox multivariate test. Here you can find it out how the intercepts is coming based on the 4 authors method actually. Okay. Normally we will go with Wilks lambda method. Okay, who is given a significant contribution towards multivariate analysis of variance. So normally we will check with the second value only. If it is good, then rest of the things it is going to be same. So this is completely about analysis of variance in one way, two way, as well as multivariate analysis of variance. Is it clear? Any doubts? If you have, please let me know. And T-test, I will do it tomorrow, the continuation, because just I wanted to explore you about various methods of ANOVA, hence I have focused on it. Tomorrow we will be able to complete T-test. It is similar to this one only. And correlation and regression, we can able to finish it off tomorrow. So that's it from my end for the day. If you have any queries, please let me know. We can spend for another 5 to 10 minutes. Over. Any queries?
Yes, participants, if you have any queries, post it in a chat box, or you can even unmute yourself and ask the question.
And only thing, it is all about assumption. You know, if we can't violate the assumptions of any test. You need to be very strong in assumptions. Otherwise, whatever you are going to do, it is not going to be valid.
So there's a question.
Yes, please, ma'am.
Is multivariate for 3 factors?
I'm not getting the question. Let me read it. No, more number of factors, more than 2. Please make a note of it. It is going to be more than 2.
It can be any number more than 2. 3,
More than
4.
Because 2 means it is going to be two-way. Multivariate automatically n number of dependent, that is, as I told you, that variable, number of dependent variables, and n number of the categorical variables. This is what the multivariate. Any doubts or any queries from the participants? Please stop sharing it. Yes, I will stop sharing it. Yes, ma'am. Nothing is there as.
Yes, sir. There are no more queries from the participants. So I think we can wind up the session for the day. Dear participants, if you have anything to tell or to give a feedback, you are most welcome. You can unmute yourself and you can share your views. So we have one more day to go. I request all the participants to join tomorrow's session before time. And tomorrow will be the concluding session. So please don't miss the session. So I think we will wind up the session for the day. I would like to thank our resource person, Dr. S. Gokula Krishnan sir, for the wonderful presentation. And I'm sure that the participants have learned about the descriptive statistics and we all got a clear picture about it. So with this, we will wind up the session for the day. Once again, I would like to thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. See you, and we'll meet you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. So thank you all, dear participants. We will all join back tomorrow before 5:30. Thank you all.